Hey, good morning. Good morning. It's Sunday morning, and we got a great guest. We got a great show for you. A lot of good people coming, and a lot of good stuff to talk about. We are 2 days away, guys. 2 days. It's gonna happen. Training camp, uh, mini camp, preseason, the schedule. I don't know. I woke up this morning and was like, it's coming. We're almost there. So I don't know how you guys feel, but let's start out the morning with a great shout out. Thank you, Tarrerdome, for coming, Steve-O, Bebop, and let's bring in David real quick. David's on the bottom. So, good morning, everybody. Hope you have a cup of coffee. We're gonna have a good show. Good morning, David. So,
Sounds good.
let's throw it over here to Tarrerdome.
Dave.
Tarrerdome, how do you feel this morning?
Pretty good, young men. Pretty good. I had a little faux pas yesterday with the hot water heater was leaking water into the wall, and we had to get shout out to Blanton's and my guy Sven. Sven came over, man. Good man of God. We just talked for quite a bit, and as the Brown Hornet used to say on Fat Albert, we naturally escaped unharmed. I got a bill, but hey, we got hot water and new hot water heater, so we needed that.
Hey, so I know things come in twos and threes sometimes, but David, didn't you have a hot water heater you were working on like last week or something?
Oh yeah, it started leaking out of the fittings on the top. They rusted out, so I literally had to pull the whole hot water heater out and replace it.
Yeah, man.
I had to call a HVAC guy in to do the gas lines though, because I'm not certified to do that.
Did you need a
All right.
plumber? Are you certified plumbing as well?
I'm not, but I did the plumbing.
Amen. Cheaper.
Steve, if you want to Rochambeau, I don't want to be the next guy to have to replace the water heater. So, they usually come in threes. So,
Hey, I had mine last winter. It was so cold, like everybody's broke. It sounded like my fan on my oven was on, right? And then I walk in my kitchen and my feet are wet. My whole kitchen is soaked, like my walls under my oven, everything. And it was actually shooting from my water heater, hitting the neighbors, which I don't know how he didn't notice. But
Wow.
So yeah, right where as I'm getting dressed and I'm all pissed off, somebody's knocking at my door to let me know. It's like, yeah, cool, thanks. But luckily, just a little piece of the pipe froze. I cut it, they put a replacement in there for like $20. I didn't have to call anybody because my heater's pretty new, so I got lucky there. So it's all you had your yard, so I guess that probably.
yeah. Yeah. If you guys didn't know, my yard got tore up. I had a main line break, so I no longer have grass in the front or the backyard because they redid the septic in the back. So it's I still have a dirt field, so I'm not hating it, but I do like grass, so I'm hoping my grass will grow. But yeah, all right. So water heaters are the thing. So if you guys have any water heater issues, hopefully you can get them taken care of. And if not, you are capable like Tarrerdome and Steve-O and David McNiner here and can handle it. Putting in a water heater is not the easiest thing. I've done it a couple times, but I'm not proficient at it. But I can do it. I take my time. I can put the pipes on and stuff like that. But yeah, I gotta go today. Go move a refrigerator around. Somebody's refrigerator went out, so I'm gonna give them a little bit of time to clear up their space so I can pull it in around their living room and plug in a brand new one for them. It's always nice when you get a new appliance. You kind of feel like, hey, they love me. They're taking care of me. So after this,
Brian,
for a couple
Brian,
hours.
in the salary cap world of a home, that refrigerator is the most valuable player. I did an efficiency breakdown of my entire home. Guys, that refrigerator goes 24/7. And it might demand, I don't know how much of the cap it is in terms of your electric bill, but that sucker is a quality ball player. That refrigerator is the most important ball player in your entire home. And it always delivers, keeps things cool, makes water, ice, and that refrigerator it's a franchise player. You got to have that refrigerator. Yeah.
Most definitely. Shout out to Jesse. Thank you for showing up, Jesse. If you guys don't know who Jesse is, he's got a great channel. Does a lot of stuff. He's going to be at training camp too this year.
What is
and he's a. I was hoping to be able to meet him, but I didn't get tickets. I was not lucky enough to get tickets. So if some way or somehow I'm fortunate to come across tickets, then I might be able to make the trip over there. But it's just not one of those things that's kind of really burns me a little bit. I don't want to get mad or get upset, but I got to go to so many training camps for almost 3 years straight, and I didn't have to pay anything to go see the Niners. And for people to be reselling the tickets. I understand people are trying to resell. It's money. It's America. It's all this. But for a person who wants to just go and not make any money off of it, it just kind of takes the wind out of me a little bit. So, excuse me. So sorry, morning. But let's get into this. My aunt Deanna, my wife's aunt, she was able to go to an event yesterday, and hopefully she'll pop in a little bit later to tell us a little bit about it. But she was able to meet CMC. So if you guys see the thumbnail, it's got an autograph of CMC. She got that yesterday. And she met a couple other 49er players. I believe Frank Gore was there. Bosa was supposed to be there. He did not show up. I think he ended up missing the event. And I think Eric Armstead and there was a handful of other 49er players that was there. So it's really neat because it's like sometimes when you do get close to these players, like me when I was in training camp, 97 to 99, I believe, it made you feel like you're closer to the team. Like you know them, you're more friends with them, like they know who you are, you're rooting for them, right? So I don't know, it's kind of hard, but if you guys look up there, I got Joe Montana's autograph. I did not personally get that autograph. It was given to me. I've gotten T.O.'s autograph a couple times. I've gotten a couple other people's autographs. Junior Bryant, I don't know if you guys remember Junior Bryant back in the late 90s. He was a 49er. He was one of my favorites. I want to say it was Chris Dolman.
Dolman?
I believe it was him. I got his autograph as well. I think I got Ty Street's autograph at one time. So it's just, and I got a couple kickers at the time. I think I had Wade Ritchie's autograph. So what's sad is like sometimes you have to move around and you lose things and moves and stuff like that. Well, I moved to Kentucky and moved back with a backpack. I can't put everything in the backpack, And then there were so many things I could put in my bus because I planned on getting my bus and bringing it back to California. But my point, my thing is if you do get to meet a player, sometimes you can't get something autographed, but it's still cool to be able to shake their hand, talk to them and stuff. So I want to start with Tarrerdome up there. We'll drop it down to Steve-O and then David. Have you met anybody? Have you got an autograph from anybody? It doesn't have to just be a Niner. And I'm going to bring in Dion while we're talking. So Tarrerdome, start it off.
Well, like I said, when my cousin played with Seattle, it was that year they went to the Super Bowl and didn't run beast mode. He was a nickelback. They called him up, that Monday night when they were facing Aaron Rodgers, and when they played here in Carolina, man. After the game, the family goes and meets the players, and my guy was Cam Chancellor, who's from Virginia. I think Denby High School, maybe, or I forgot which high school it was, but I've been following this cat all the time. And Mike Robinson, he goes to Rising Mount Zion Church. Shout out Rising Mount Zion, where my mother and my uncle go. He's a deacon there. And I didn't want to like the Legion of Boom. It's so many, it was after Richard Sherman. They did the Crabtree thing, and I met Richard Sherman, and my wife got a picture with him, and I just couldn't mess with him right then, Brian. It's just too much baggage at that time. But those guys, Marshawn Lynch, and those guys were as real as rain, man. They were really good guys. I had prayer with Cam Chancellor, who I just adore. I think that guy's just a wonderful, wonderful guy. And we had a good time. And it was a couple more guys that came out. I don't think Earl came out. Russell Wilson didn't come out. My aunt told me, Russell, he different, which I was a little put off because he's from Richmond, Virginia as well, collegiate high school. And I don't know, I felt a little some kind of way, but I know the business of quarterbacking, the marketability and the press he has to answer and stuff. I just, and then I think that was right when he was dating Sierra, so he might have been, feeling himself a little bit and stuff. But as far as 49ers, man, I look forward to it. I just did an interview with Spencer Burford, who my cousin signed to his sports management group, Terror Management Group. He's a wonderful, wonderful guy, man. I really got a lot of respect for him. He's awesome. And TT is gonna maybe have me out to training camp and meet some of the other guys. And if I do it, believe me, guys, I'm representing you guys as well, the content creators and the guys that put me down and put me on. As Dion has logged in, I just did a show with him yesterday, man. My man Dion is on there, so it's a wonderful thing. But sometimes they don't live up to what you think they're gonna live up to.
Steve-O, have you met anybody, or would you like to meet anybody? Have you, been? I think you answered this, but let's get a good thought again. Is there? It doesn't have to be a football player either. You could be even singer, actress. But have you met somebody, a celebrity, had good experience, bad experience?
No, I'm not. I could, like today I was going to go to Tahoe, but I didn't wake up early enough. And last week they had the celebrity golf. That's where you go to get all your stuff signed. I'm not big into golf, but it's like 35 minutes away from my house. You know what I mean? And my high school field is you probably know Tarrerdome is called Ted Williams, field. So that's good enough for me. Never had to meet anybody. I'm not in awe of players, like that, where I would stand in line for 4 hours just to meet somebody. There are some cats that that are really high class acts, like maybe PNC or maybe LBJ or somebody that, I might want to see them in person, how they move and act and their demeanor and everything, see if I can learn anything. But other than that, I'm not a big, in awe of people.
Respect, Steve-O.
Yeah, definitely understand that. Mr. McNiner, have you met anybody? Reba McEntire, anybody?
I have actually never had the chance to. And, I live in Utah, so when it comes to sports players, the Utah Jazz is pretty much all you have here, And I've met some DJs back in the day, but their egos were the size of the Goodyear blimp, so I wasn't very impressed,
Which DJs? Which DJ?
These are techno DJs. They were from New York.
Okay.
So it was just like, yeah,
Word.
Hey, Dion, sorry again. Yesterday we kind of went live at the same time, but I was able to pop in a couple times and say, hey, you had a good show. And, thanks for sending me the link as always. But again, to you, thank you for coming this morning. Is there a player that you've met? Is there a celebrity? Have you had good experiences, bad experiences, or is there somebody that you'd really like to meet?
So I've actually met like several celebrities just in general. I used to work in Beverly Hills at a grocery store, so met Master P, met my teenage crush Tony Braxton, and had a serious fan moment. Believe you me, it was definitely very unfortunate for me, but I recovered and I actually proposed to her. She said no because she was already married at the time, but I figured I'd shoot my damn shot regardless.
Shoot your shot, young
see
man.
what I could get. I met Snoop on several occasions. Very, very cool dude. Master P is one of the nicest people you ever meet in your life. And the minute he meets you, if he gets good vibes off you, he starts dropping gems. Like he's giving game away for free. I've met a couple of different people, and I've been fortunate to run into people who are always very nice. The only person I could say who was very rude, and I didn't even want anything from him, was Charles Barkley. Barkley was trash. All I said was, "There's Charles Barkley," and kept walking, and he had the nerve to tell me he didn't want to sign no autograph. I'm thinking in my head, I never liked you as a player anyway. Don't nobody want your autograph. You wasn't worth nothing to me. I remember you was going up for a dunk and your back locked on you. That's what I remember. Like, it's to me, I always feel like there are some people that like when you meet people, just be cool. Try to be chill. You don't have to be rude. Met Calais Campbell. I live in Arizona. I met him. That is a giant of a human being. I'm only 5'6". Calais is like 6'8". So I'm looking up at him the whole time, and it's making me feel awkward. Like I feel like Kevin Hart standing next to Shaq. Like I'm just like, I don't know. No, I don't want to take a picture because no, I feel like you're gonna try to put your balls on my head. I don't have time for this shit. No. But Calais is really, really nice. He's a very cool dude. Gentle giant man. His wife is probably about shorter than me, but she looked like she running everything. But met a few people, man. All the celebrities, like I said, have been cool. It's outside of Charles Barkley. Barkley was a little rude about that when nobody wanted anything. But haven't had the chance to meet any football players. I would love to. I would have loved to have met Chancellor like Tarrerdome did, because boy, that man could hit. And I love me a hitter. We have one of the greatest hitters of all time in Ronnie Lott in our history. So if I'd have met Cam Chancellor, I just would have looked at him and say, "Hey man, I just appreciate the work you do, sir."
Yeah. That was
Mr.
it.
Corona, have you met
Hey.
anybody? A movie star, football player, somebody that the mayor of town, somebody.
I wish. But
Well, okay. I've got an opportunity to meet T.O. Didn't have the best experience with him. I met him like 3 times, really 3 or 4 times. I've gotten his autograph several times, and each time I walked away like, man, why did I do exactly what Steve-O said? Wait 4 hours to get my feelings kind of put down. So that is one of those experiences that isn't pleasant. But I've also met Snoop Dogg. I got to be backstage with him. I was actually working, and my job was to stand there and watch the trailers. And they had Leonard Skinner there at the concert, Snoop Dogg, and this was in San Jose. Really, really cool. I was, probably just as close to you guys as my computer screen is to him. He's walked right by me. It was really neat. But yeah, like you get to meet somebody, and they're genuine. The other person I've met is Tom Grossi. Dude's super, super cool. Same person that he is on YouTube, he is in life. And real quick, I also met this guy. We're gonna bring him in real quick, get his thoughts. I met John Jay. And to me, this guy is pretty cool. Definitely a cool experience to meet him. We got to meet up at Levi Stadium. And it's cool when you get to meet people in real life and they are who they are. And you're not getting no you know what I mean? You're not getting a song, you're getting the real person, right? So
yeah, man.
Or I did see Rob Lowe before.
cool. That's really cool.
Dodger Stadium.
All right.
He looks really short. Is he real short?
I'm 5'8". He's probably a little bit taller than me.
Okay.
So let's get into some football. Real quick, John, thanks for coming. Is there anybody that you would like to shout out that you've met, got an autograph, or would like to meet? Movie star, football player, basketball player, hockey, it doesn't matter. College player. If you met a political person, go ahead and say that. Just anybody that you've met famous. You can't say Bryant Culp because I took John Jay.
I'm gonna make it quick because I don't want to bore everybody. I met the 2002 National League champions Giants.
Nice.
Barry Bonds is from Sarah High School, so people know him out here. He is who he is, has that ego. Let's see. I met LaDainian Tomlinson in 2016 when just a few weeks before the Super Bowl and he was signing autographs. And I asked him one question about his playing career, and he told me what I remember was he enjoyed playing in San Diego, but he really wanted to wear that Niner helmet. I'm not lying. I wish I could tell you that I am lying. He wanted to wear that Niner helmet for some reason. I don't know if he just said that because I was wearing some Niner stuff. I've met what's his name? Javid Best and his family. good people. They played in Cal. He spent time with the Detroit Lions. Any famous movie people or other people? I can't in the top of my head, but those are the people I can think about at the moment.
Okay.
I did meet a couple of baseball players. If that counts, I don't know. I thought we were talking about football.
No, celebrities, movie stars, baseball
I
players.
met I met I met there, Tim Simon. I met Troy Glaus. He's from Narco. I met almost the whole 1999 Angels. Yeah,
They were pretty good then too.
That's cool.
yeah.
I went to Stag here in Stockton, California, and there's a baseball player. He's also become an announcer on ESPN. And my wife, she got to actually meet him person, and she rented him a U-Haul because at the time she worked for the U-Haul dealership. So his name is Dallas Braden. He was a pitcher for the Oakland A's. He pitched a perfect game, and he retired because I think he had an injury, and it happens. But he moved into announcing, and if you guys see him, he's got a big old beard, and really cool guy. And he moved his grandmother out of Stockton because Stockton got a little bit of bad influence, and some stuff is happening, and it's gotten a cleaner and maybe a little bit better. But somebody broke into his grandma's house, and he, with the ability to be able to move her out, and maybe to a better city, that's exactly what he did. So shout out to Dallas. I wish you wouldn't have had to do that, but again, you got to be safe, and you got to have your family safe too. So that's kind of really cool because he was actually at my high school. It's like I think he was a year older than me or two. We didn't play at the same time, but still really cool. He actually made it to the Oakland A's. So
I met Tony Robbins.
Oh man, Tony Robbins is the man. Motivational. Did you feel enthused after you met him? Were you ready to take on the world, Steve-O?
Well, I met him a few times. I'm glad I went. I don't know if anybody else knows who he is, but
Motivational speaker.
I did.
yes,
Oh, go ahead.
Tony Robbins is the big guy, nice beard, and he's a really cool motivational speaker. If you like listening to something, when you're traveling or driving, and it's gonna make you feel good. He's not what's the gospel guy down in Texas,
Joel Osteen.
Yes, he's not like that, but he's definitely similar. And I believe my aunt's met both of them. She's actually went to both of them, and those tickets are expensive. You guys talk about football tickets being expensive. Going to one of his events, because they're not really. It's kind of like going to see Dr. Phil or something sometime. It's like it's kind of he's in a small room generally, and he's speaking to and it's if you get a chance to. Tony Robbins is really really cool. That's a really cool thing, Steve-O.
it was work, so I didn't have to pay nothing.
All right, so I would like to talk a little bit about the preseason. I know preseason doesn't count and it doesn't matter, but we have three opponents, and if you guys would like to talk about it, you want to say the predictions. You think we're going 3-0, or it doesn't matter. But first off, we're playing the Las Vegas Raiders in Las Vegas. That's August 13th. What are you guys' thoughts on that? What do you want to see? Do you want to see quarterback competition? Do you want to see, do you just want to see the guys just get through a healthy game? What's your thoughts, Tarrerdome? We'll start you out.
First and foremost, let's stay healthy. I am praying for the health of the San Francisco 49ers. I'm praying for the health and welfare with everything that happened last year, man. It really put a stamp on the fact of how frail and how fragile this game is with DeMar Hamlin and everything, man. But really, us personally, San Francisco 49ers, we know the importance of health. So we're praying on that in Jesus' name. But man, when I saw that way back when, and I knew Jimmy G was there, I'm like, oh, this is just, come on. This is, we're going to have joint practices with them, Bryant? Is that how we're doing it too?
Yes, the Raiders and the Niners are supposed to have joint practice. I don't know when that's supposed to happen. I imagine it's going to be before the preseason game. and the preseason game's August 13th. So we have potentially 2 weeks before that, 2-3 weeks almost before that happens. So I imagine I'll have to find out or if anybody wants to Google when we're actually practicing against them, we can talk about that too. But
That's gonna be awesome, Brian. You know, because I predict if Jimmy G is out there, I predict Fred Warner getting a pick or two.
He passed his physical
Maybe
today, so
he
Oh,
practiced
wow.
today.
he passed his physical today.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Hey, round of applause. Jimmy G has.
Hey, now we got some time. It might change. We all know, but
But yeah, man, a lot's gonna come from this preseason, man. We want to see where Trey is at. We want to see Sam Darnold, has he newly emerged, and we're gonna look at our guy Brandon Allen, the backup that came from Cincinnati. I hope I'm saying his name right, but you know, I just want to see everybody get down and play, be efficient. We're gonna check motivational. Communication in terms of the new defense. We got some new players. We got some new coaches. You know, we're going to see how everything just shakes out. Naturally, the starters won't play the entirety of the game, much less. Usually, we don't even put too much of them out there as well. But it'll be a nice gauge because the Raiders did play us pretty hard last year. And, you know, that San Francisco Oakland thing, it still lingers, even though they moved to Las Vegas.
Steve-O, what are you excited about for preseason? Sounds like Jimmy just passed his physical. You busted down the breaking news, you and Bebop. And I know Jason's just being funny here. He says, breaking news, Jimmy is hurt again. I don't know.
He'll probably dap it up with all the guys, and it'll be a little get together or whatever afterwards. I'm sure. I'm not big into training camp and preseason because you can't really bet on those things. But I'm looking forward to seeing like our running back situation, like who's going to emerge, because that's going to be key. Because likely, you know what I mean, a guy or two is going to go down for maybe even just a couple weeks. But that's key in our offense, is our running back. So even if CMP stays healthy, we're still going to need a number two to come in there. And everybody thinks it's going to be Mason, but we don't even know what we have in TDP. You know what I mean? Everybody, I was like yesterday, I was like, treat TDP the same. Oh, he's gone. I'm like, oh, come on, give him a fair chance, like you say about Trey Lance. You know what I mean? But nobody gives that argument about him for whatever reason. And then the tight ends. I want a tight end too that catches 400 yards and 5 touchdowns this year. So we add another weapon to the offense, and it's not just George Kittle in case he goes down for a couple games, or we just had that dual threat like somebody mentioned last night when we had Vernon Davis and Delaney Walker. I forgot about Delaney Walker. I mean, that was, you know what I mean? That's what I want to see.
Love Delaney Walker, man. I think that might have been the third or fourth worst move we had, letting Delaney Walker go, man. He was a pocket knife. He was a Swiss Army knife, man. He could play it all.
Yeah, letting Delaney go and Potty go. I mean, that was, oh man, that's woo. Mr. McNiner, do you have thoughts on the preseason training camp? What are you excited to see? We have the Raiders coming. The Raiders.
I'm excited to see our players in pads. You know, that's what I'm excited to see. When it comes to the Raiders, we don't. Is James Richard Garoppolo going to be available?
As of now,
is he actually going to be there? Because that would be good for Fred Warner and his practice getting interceptions from quarterbacks. That would be really good for that. But and it makes for an interesting story if he's going to be there. But we don't know if he's going to be there because the Raiders listed him as out indefinitely. And he's not on the Niners, so I haven't been watching him.
Yeah, I agree. Let's go to David Corona. What's your thoughts? Or is there a camp battle? Is there a positional, group that you're like, I want to see this guy come out, or you just wanted to see the Niners smack the Raiders? What's going on?
I just want to see they're playing football again, and it doesn't matter for the preseason. I'm just waiting for the regular season. So yeah, if Jimmy G plays, I hope the Niners get him. So yeah, that's why I got. I have to go help my wife real quick. I'll be back.
All right, man.
What if the Niners hurt him?
Oh, he's done. He's done.
I didn't want to bring that up, but yeah, it's a possibility.
That would really.
I'm sure they won't hit him. I mean, all you gotta do is probably swat the man with a hand, and he's out for 6 weeks. So,
John Jay, what's your thoughts, man? You've been quiet a little bit. Everybody's being polite. We appreciate it. What's your thoughts? Is the Raiders what you want to see? You just want to see them in pads? Are you looking forward to seeing the Niners practice against the Raiders? What's your thoughts?
So I've been watching the preseason since I can remember, and I don't have to worry about the veterans. I know what they can do already. But what I want to see is the young guys we drafted. I want to see Jair Brown, Jake Moody, Cameron Lata. I see Daryl Luter. He's on the pup list right now. I want to see Beal. I want to see Graham. I want to see all the undrafted players. I want to see why the Niners drafted them, and I also want to see the battles for wide receivers. The battles for tight end, the battles for every position. That's what preseason is about. It's not about winning the games. It's about seeing the players that we have, why we drafted them, why the Niners had them highly on their draft board, because that's what you want to see. I also want to see NFL teams in general play their starters, not just for like one snap or one drive. Play them for a while, because these guys have not hit other people and play football since the NFC Championship game. So it's been a while since their body is in football shape. If you watch the product, the NFL product, why do most injuries happen from week to week 4? Because the players are not ready. But then after week 5, week 6, you start seeing the players get less injured because they're starting to play more. So we need to see the players get some time, and that's how the injuries stop. I think that's been one of the reasons why the Niners recently have been having all these injuries, because they're not playing. But then when the season goes in the second half, everyone's healthy and we're winning all the games. So I want to see that as well.
So it sounds like you sounded like it said the Niners, the veterans, you know what they're going to do, and they don't need to play. But then at the end, you kind of said they do need to play because they need to get acclimated. They need to stretch out. They need to get into football game shape. So I agree. I definitely agree that they maybe shouldn't play the whole game, but I think they need to play a little longer than they have been playing in the last couple seasons, at least under the Kyle Shanahan system. Because if you look at some of the marquee franchises, we'll throw it out there like Pittsburgh or New England. These teams don't lose their preseason games. They play to win. They're not losing. They're not trying to get hurt, but they're not trying to lose either. And for us to go into the mentality of we don't care if we win the preseason game or not because it doesn't count. No, those losses add up. They really do. And I know when you come out of preseason, like the Chiefs don't lose preseason. They beat us in preseason. They're not trying to lose. So it's like I don't know. I definitely think that they need to. I'd like to see again 2-day practices. I'd like to see these guys get into it if they're not going to be playing the whole preseason or like they were when we started watching in like the 90s. Let's we got to figure out a way. Got to figure a way out because now there's 90 guys on the roster. No one's getting cut until the end, so there's less spots for people to be in. Or so. What's your thoughts, Corey Davis? Good morning. Thank you for coming. And what are you?
Good morning.
Cheers.
I want to see. This is what I want to see. I want to see Trey Lance. Don't get up, put him in there, and let him run one down and take him out. I want to see him play at least half a quarter, half first quarter or something. You know, don't put him out there. Okay, one drive, take him out. I want to see him play the whole quarter. Give him that chance. And I also want like John G. I want to see the rookies. I want to see all the rookies. I want to see what we have in them. And to me, I don't even think Jimmy gonna play. Even if he's healthy, in shape, I think they gonna let him sit out for the preseason. I don't see the Raiders putting him out there just in case of that injury. And most I want us to come out healthy out of this preseason. Please, nobody get hurt.
I'd like to see one more thing. I want to see Sam Darnold play all 3 games, light it up, get like 7 touchdowns and 1 interception, and watch everybody's head explode. Just to throw a monkey wrench in there. I like them monkey wrenches. But you know what's weird is then it won't be, Sam Darnold played really good. Everybody's going to be like, oh, he's better than Trey Lance and all everything we gave up for him. You know what I mean? It's always got to compare it to somebody else instead of just praising something good that the guy did. If that's what I want to see.
Well, that's a good point. That's a really good point. So, let's get into the next game. The next game is we play the Raiders. Then we play. I know we play the Chargers last. I gotta look it real quick on my phone. The next game is the Broncos. Okay, so the Denver Broncos come to the Niners on August 19th. August 19th. So we play on the 13th, and then the 13th is Sunday, and then the 19th is Saturday. Okay, so we're not even getting a full 7 days, and that's normally how preseason is anyways. You don't get a full rest. But you look at it, and you're like, okay, you want to see Sam Darnold, you want to see Brandon Allen practice, right? Because obviously at this point, we know Brock Purdy and Trey Lance, they're going to put them to the side. Unless something bad happens, presumably both of those guys are going to be there. And let's just assume that Trey Lance is taking first reps in preseason. Is that really going to be the best thing for him? And if he is taking first string reps, how long is he going to get in there? Is he going to play for the first quarter, the second quarter, or is he going to do like what the veterans do and play one series and then sit down? If the guy's going to play, we need to see him play, right? So are we going to give, Trey Lance one quarter, 2 quarters, and then, Sam and Brandon Allen come out? So I think it's very important how they break this down. And is Brock Purdy even going to get any playing time in the preseason at all? So, the Broncos come into town. We usually play the Broncos almost every season we usually play the AFC West during preseason. Yeah. We always end up finishing with the Chargers. It goes back to, Alex Smith, and it goes back to Alex Spanos wanting to buy the 49ers, and, a lot to do with that. So with that, you look at it, I definitely think Brandon Allen and Sam Darnold's going to play a whole lot, because I don't think the Niners brought Brandon Allen, the backup from Cincinnati, to come in and not compete. They're not expecting much, I don't think. I don't think they're expecting him to flop either. I think they're going to look at him and say, you're going to be our practice squad guy, nothing else, and nonetheless, and you're going to get paid, and we're going to pay you generously, because if he's a vet, I think we can stash him on the practice squad and save him. So I see us keeping 4 quarterbacks at this time. But it is interesting if Sam Darnold or Brandon Allen come in and light it up, and they're only going to get 2 quarters maybe in each one of these games to actually throw some touchdowns. So if they get 6 or 7 touchdowns in 4 quarters of football and 2 or 3 games span, that's definitely going to be some eyebrows raised. But again, it has to go back to who is Trey Lance playing with in the first quarter. Is he going to be playing with our starters, or how many of our starters are going to be sitting because we don't want to risk the injuries? At this point, I know it's not the smartest thing to say, and I want everybody's opinion on this. I say everybody plays. You play, you try your best not to get hurt, just like a regular game, but you get out there and you show what we got. We're gelling as a team, and we're making a run at it. And if you get hurt, next guy up, next mentality up. You don't have to go and kill that guy. It's a preseason game. But if you need to lay out for that touchdown to build confidence with everybody and show that you're willing to do what you need to do to reach that Lombardi, let's do it. I still have in my head the Trey Lance to Trent Sherfield, and he ran all the way down. I mean, let's see some stuff happen. I would like to see him keep his hand back from somebody's helmet. I don't want to see him break his finger on someone's helmet again. But yeah, let's see these guys play. And if this is preseason and they're taking games away, because there used to be, we know there used to be like 6, then there was 4, now there's 3, and there's not any practices. Let's see what happens. Tarrerdome, what's your thoughts?
True that. I think what this preseason will highlight a great deal is the San Francisco 49ers are, as starters, we are really, really loaded. And this preseason is going to show a great deal of depth, what we have in terms of depth. If you think about it, our starting offensive line, it's pretty solid with the best that, arguably the best that ever did it. Trent Williams on one side, and now we've got Brendel, who's a Pro Bowl alternate, Banks, who made tremendous strides during the year, and we have Spencer Burford, who I predict is going to be the breakout second-year guy, and we're going to see Colt McKivitz. But then we can come back and almost platoon it. I'm interested to see Feliciano. I'm interested in seeing some of these other guys to show the depth of the San Francisco 49ers. And on defense as well, we got a platoon of good guys. Hargrave and Bosa are who they are. They are as advertised. But look at the depth chart, man. These guys are going to be really fighting for positions. We talked about receivers. You got Ronnie Bell we're excited about. Ray-Ray McLeod's still here. We're going to see TDP. It's going to be like you're running into a fortress, man. It's like being Alabama football, LSU football. We can go out and get them. The Broncos represent a really good test because naturally McGlinchey went over there, so I'm interested to watch Mr. McGlinchey. Hope he plays. And Sean Payton ain't playing the radio. He has a Super Bowl ring and he's chomping at the bit. They gave us big. We lost to them last year, didn't it? That was when Jimmy threw the illustrious pick 8. They got a really, really solid defense. And I think that their coordinator is a former 49er as well. We're going to see some real good stuff, man. That Broncos game is going to tell you a great deal. And in terms of how they're going to break it down, I would think we go Trey first quarter and then give Darnold the second quarter. And then we look at Brandon Allen for the second half. That's usually status quo in terms of how they do it. But, I'll leave it for the chat and you guys to come up with whatever you guys see on that end.
No, that's good points. Steve, what would you like to add to that? You kind of got the topic
I'm not
going.
trying to be rude, but you guys have a good day. I gotta go.
Never rude. You never rude, David. You have a good day. Tell the wife.
Okay.
We hope she's getting better, and you take care of
Okay,
business.
yeah, she has to
Thanks,
stay
buddy.
one more day at the hospital.
Oh man, prayers up.
All right, thank you for everybody.
All right.
All right, see you later.
Well, I first want to point out this. I caught what you were laying down there, Bryant Culp. You said that if a receiver's got to lay out for the pass, basically you're saying that somebody's inaccurate and overthrowing people. I got what you said. But no, as far as you can replay it. I caught it. But no, as far as, it's still 3 games. Everybody's still getting used to how long. Normally I would say like a quarter and a half and vary, but it's 3 games. Everybody's kind of still adjusting to it. And what I've learned is Kyle Shanahan, he calls a certain amount of plays he wants to run, but it varies because you might score in three plays. You might score in 15 plays. If you score in 15 plays, he's likely to take you out, maybe your first quarter. But 3 plays, it could vary how long it takes you to score, and then he'll leave you longer if there's situational football that comes up he wants to see you do. So, I assume Darnold will get probably 2 quarters, second and third.
I could see it. I can see it. Mr. McNiner, what's your thoughts on the whole, training camp battle, and now we're talking Broncos. So, what's your thoughts? New coach Russell Wilson. He's gonna say it. Let's ride. So, what's your thoughts?
Well, when it comes down to it, Sean Payton is going to study tape on Russell Wilson. He's going to see what he does good, and he is going to adjust his system to benefit Russell Wilson. So, I've been saying Russell Wilson's a system QB, and Sean Payton will take advantage of that. They're locked into him with that long-term contract. So, when it comes to camp battles, yeah, I want to see Mike McGlinchey in another system. I definitely want to see that. But he also has a QB that's used to running for his life. So, his pass blocking skills might not have the same impact that they had with us.
Might be better, huh?
Yeah, they might, like, Sean Payton might actually make him look better than he is. That's for sure. But when it comes down to it, the Denver Broncos can ride into a lake. It's like, and what the whole Jimmy G pick 8 thing. He did something that has never been done in NFL history. He's in the history books now.
Yeah.
He had a pick 6 negated for a safety. That's never been done, and might not ever happen again. So he's gonna be in the hall of shame for that one.
Hated people on the team. We play week 1 and week 2 of preseason.
Do we play the Broncos in week 1?
Week 2.
Week 2.
Week 2.
Raiders, Broncos, and the Chargers.
August 19th.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is the starters are probably only going to be playing for a quarter. Maybe and as this preseason goes, you're supposed to up their time a little bit here and there to get them in football shape. But Kyle Shanahan seems to like to wait till we're in the season to do that, which isn't, look at how we've started the last 2 years. That really doesn't work out.
Yeah,
So,
that's kind of my thoughts. Is like, so how long would you put the starters out there for? Should they play longer? Does Trey Lance need more reps? And if he's going to be the starter, is he only going to be playing one series, or do we let him get a full quarter or 2 quarters in that first preseason game?
When it comes to Trey Lance, he needs reps. I would let him go at least a half the first game.
Yeah.
And then the second game, let him go 3 quarters, and if we can play him all 4, the last game, let's do it. And the starters, I would honestly, all the veterans and everything, I would go at least a quarter the first game, a half the second game, and then 3 quarters the next game. But that's how I would do it.
Yeah.
John Jay, what's your thoughts? What would you like to see happen with the starters? And, presumably, if Trey is our starter or Sam or whatnot, how long do they get? Basically, are you going to give them 1 series? Are you going to make them play a couple more quarters, or how are we breaking this down?
With the system that they have, now with only 3 preseasons, it does hinder how coaches coach. So I think most coaches are like, you know what, I'm just going to play the young guys and forget it, because they have to make the cuts. They got to cut down from 90 to 53 or whatever the number is right now.
Yeah.
So in the past, week 1, they would play everybody. The starters would get very little time. One example was in New England for many years, Tom Brady, would play 2 series in the first 2 games, and then he would play three full quarters. And then he didn't play nothing in week 4. So with the new system, it's just very difficult. But you also have to play the young guys, because if you're unable to play all the 90 players, it's going to be very difficult. But in an ideal situation, you want to play your starters in the first game a quarter, the second game 2 quarters, and then the third game everybody else. That's how they have to do it right now. But because of how everything's set up, and coaches are just too afraid to put their players out there. They're like, you know what? Let's just play the young guys. So I think that's the thing that hinders the league. But in an ideal situation, uh, week 1 quarter, and then week 2 1/2, and then you play everybody else so they can get playing time.
Awesome. John, dude, thank you so much for jumping in. You always bring good intellectual conversations. You bring good point of view, perspective, and, you are definitely a passionate fan. So everybody, if you're watching, you're not subscribed to Mr. John Jay, the 49ers Ultimate Report, check him out. He's also doing other things. He'll let you know all about that as well on, channels and stuff. Just get into his notifications and you'll start seeing more and more. But John, I think you said you have to pop out. So if you want to let everybody know what you got going on for the rest of the day, then we'll see you next time, buddy.
Yeah. So in about 40 minutes, I got a show going on, and that's what I'm doing today on my channel. And I know Corey, people want to see who went 15-0. So tonight, go check out Corey's show. But that's what I'm doing today.
Awesome. John, again, thank you very much. Please, everybody, check out John. And if you guys don't know either, John, if you don't mind, go take a look at Tarredome's channel. It's spelled just the way his name is spelled.
Yep.
He's got a great channel. Hit a like button. We're streaming to both of our channels right now. So we're getting Tarrerdome a little bit more into the YouTube scene. So if anybody's in the comments either and they'd like to jump over there and hit a like button for Tarrerdome, you'll see me in the chat on his side. So please do that. But John, dude, thank you so much for coming, and I hope you have a great day.
Have a good rest of your day, guys.
All right, good talking to you, buddy.
Yep. And of course, F those Rams.
You got to slide that one in as you leave. This is. It said that about Muhammad Ali. And take that with you. Yeah.
Throat stomp.
You know the deal.
So, Corey, what's your thoughts? How would you like to see them deliver or divvy up the preseason? I think Damian right here, Damian Lee, and shout out to Pardon My Wave. I think it's the first time I've seen you. You're on Tarredome's channel. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and if you want, jump on this side and do it as well. We're tag teaming today. But Damian Lee, Corey, brings up this point. He said, I would go Trey and Sam a half a piece for those games. A whole half a piece for those games. So, with those being three preseason games, would you kind of break it down like that? Would you give Trey, 2 quarters and Sam Darnold 2 quarters and then just divvy it up from there? What would you do?
See, like they used to do when you used to have 4 games. The third game, the starters played a whole half.
True.
And then only the 4th game, the starters didn't play at all. Since now, they only have 3 games, preseason games. So I would like to see them do like this, do the second game like they would do. I'll give Trey Lance the first quarter, and then have Sam Donald come in, and then the other guy, Allen.
Yeah,
I'll give him a chance too.
Do you think we're going to keep all the quarterbacks? Do you think Brandon Allen goes to the practice squad?
As long as he don't show off, and the other teams want to look and say, "Oh, that Allen guy's good. Let's get him." They're gonna try to put him on the practice squad. We're gonna grab him.
Great point, Corey. He was backing up, one of the elites in the NFL, Joe Burrow last year. And, you put these guys on waivers, man, people with sense are going to be like, well, I'm grabbing this dude, and he looked pretty good. What do you think, Corey? Did he look good in OTAs from everything I understand?
Well, I haven't seen him, because I haven't seen the OTAs. But they say he was doing good. All I can hear, what I hear, they say he was looking good. That he had The first time he didn't have no incomplete pass. So let's see. But I will definitely the second game against the Denver. I played my starters the whole first half because of that. And again, are we gonna see the man? Let's ride. He might not even play.
Let's
Let's cry.
He might not even play.
Yeah, man.
Sometimes Denver might be like, Coach. They say, "Nah, we ain't putting you out there for risk. We already know you. What you
And,
can
Cor-
do."
and Corey brought up a valuable point. The way they've shifted the games, it used to be that third game was the quote unquote dress rehearsal, and you used to see things like that. But like Corey said, because that's the last preseason game, we got to look at it kind of adjusted to our clock, and the third game will be the make the squad show me game. So that second one may be your de facto dress rehearsal. Am I correct, Corey?
Yes, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
That's a good point, Corey. I totally 100% agree. It seems like they've pulled away a game, and now they're going with the mentality, kind of like what John Jay said. We already know what the veterans are going to do, and they should be ready throughout the practice, the process of the practice. But I think we're losing the sight of its game shape, and these game practices aren't practice. When you just practice against another team and do these scrimmages, you might be getting a little bit of out of that, but it seems like they need to stand on the sidelines. They need some of that Gatorade. They need some of that. Like sitting around on the bench and seeing the crowd yell at them and stuff. And I think that the calcium. The what is it? The when you build up the great callus. Callus. Thank you. They need that, and I just think we're falling away from it a little bit. Shout out to the players union, keeping everybody safe and stuff. But if they're getting hurt because they're not practicing enough, right?
That's a wonderful point too. It's the gift and the curse, we call it. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, what you guys' thoughts on last preseason game, San Diego, the Chargers? Let me check real quick. I think we're going to San Diego. Let me double check. It says August 25th, so it's the day after my birthday. Los Angeles Chargers at San Francisco. So we're going to get two preseason games in Levi's. So that's a night game too, 7 o'clock game. So guys, what's your thoughts? The Chargers are a little bit better. They're not bad team. They always seem to play us really hard in preseason. I think they're another team too that doesn't like to lose preseason games. They try to win all of their preseason games. I think that's a mentality, a cultural thing where you got to kind of just you go to play to win, right? Or why even show up? All right, Tarrerdome, your thoughts.
It'll be a big test if the Martian is out there, Justin Herbert, who he's a Martian, guys. I'm convinced he's not from a regular planet. He came in here from Mars. When he rolls outside of the numbers, the field 53 and a third. Between the numbers is 12. We learned, and then you have a 6-foot number. He's throwing that thing across the field down 70 yards. This guy's something different. If he's out there, man, we're gonna test the DBs a little bit. We're gonna see how our pass rush really is. We're gonna see what we truly have. Another thing I'm interested in, and Bryant Culp hasn't said it, but I'm gonna try to read his mind a little bit. We haven't said anything about Jake Moody. I think Jake Moody will be on full display, kicking extra points, and we're gonna test that leg and see what we got in our 99th pick. I think I'm almost there with Ryan Cope. I'll yield the floor to the other gentleman in the studio.
Yeah, we'll circle back to that Jake Moody question at the end. Steve, what's your thoughts? San Diego? Well, I love to call them San Diego. They'll always be San Diego in my head. Even though they were originally the Los Angeles Chargers, they moved to San Diego, then they moved back to LA. I see it happening again. But your thoughts on the Chargers' final preseason game?
Well, do I remember this correctly? Didn't last year we play them and they were just clowning on us because Jimmy was just awful and they were just totally talking crap to us? Was that last year?
I believe it was last year.
So that means something to me. Okay, you know what I mean? Let's go light them up. You know what I mean? They already learned a lesson about how good they are and everything. Their running back, I don't think wanted to be there even last year. He tried to get traded, so just go light them up.
All right.
Did he get out of his deal, or is he still there? Or
I think him and the Rams running back stayed. They ended up making it supposedly work, but who knows? It's like Steve Diggs, like that might not work out either. So I might have to, adjust my expectations of the Bills.
wow,
Good morning.
David McNiner, what's your thoughts? San Diego Chargers, Los Angeles Chargers, final preseason of the game, of the season for us. Beginning of the season.
Well, I think the Chargers on paper, and this happens like historically throughout their history. They have a very talented roster, but they always seem to have a problem putting everything together. But when it comes down to it, Austin Eckler was actually listed as one of the best running backs in the league, and he might be, but personally, I think CMC is, and I think we should just whoop on them because what they did last year, laughing at our starting QB, even if it was James Garoppolo, and it might be easy to laugh at the guy, but laughing at him and doing what they did. Yeah, I'm with Steve. We need to put a hurt on them, even if it's preseason. So
Just game 3 though.
yeah, it's gonna be game 3, and that's hopefully when Kyle leaves the starters out there for a little longer so they can get in football shape. So we're more geared up to actually win games in the first half of the season. I mean, it's like our first half. The losses we took, that cost us the number 1 seed. That made us have to go to Philadelphia.
that's correct.
That's
very correct, Dave. Yep, you hit it.
So it comes a certain point in time where it's like Kyle Shanahan needs to realize every game matters, and we need to play like we need to win every game.
Who was the starting quarterback? I forget.
It's that one guy. What's his name? James Richard Garoppolo. That's right.
You just setting us up. Yeah, man. You're throwing alley oops today, Steve. You're Steph Curry.
Yeah, I think we're 1 year ahead of ourselves or behind ourselves. I think it was the year before because last year Jimmy was hurt, so I don't think he played in the practice or anything. And I think last year we practiced against the Broncos, but regardless, they definitely, the Broncos and the Chargers, they love to make fun of our quarterbacks. They they think they're a better squad than us. Denver will never get over us beating them in the Super Bowl with their best quarterback of their franchise, and San Diego, they got that close, and they just couldn't. They couldn't put it up. So,
16.
Corey, what's your thoughts? The LA Chargers, San Diego Chargers, final preseason game. How are the Niners going to stack up? Are we playing, just the rookies? What's your thoughts?
I think right then, like I said before, they're going to play the rookies. They're not going to play the starters. Yes, usually the third game, because we have 4 games, they usually be our whole starter and half, but they're gonna switch it around. And most time, we're not. I'm just want to see them play hard, play tough. Win, loss don't really count because I seen teams go 4-0, 3-0, and win all their preseason games. Then came into the regular season games and lost.
Fair point.
and lost.
It happens.
Because Detroit, Mr. Detroit Lions, won all their preseason games. Everybody was hyped up on Detroit. Oh, they gonna take the season. They gonna win the season, the whole season now. Nobody could beat them, and they went. They lost. They didn't have a good season. So I think really the coaches are looking at the players. They're not looking to win. They're looking to see what players do what, how hard did they play, who we gonna keep because we gotta trim down our roster.
Yeah.
So they looking out for that more than they looking and saying, "Oh, we gotta win this game." Now we get a win, it's a plus, but it's more about um, seeing what player we're gonna keep and what player we're gonna let go.
All right. Well, guys, it's been about an hour and 5 minutes. Let's finish up the conversation. We can go longer if you like, but it's always nice to be able to, have a good conversation. You drink too many cups of coffee, sit and you got to get up and go. It's just that thing, right? So, Tarrerdome had thrown out the last question I think we should end on. The Jake Moody topic, the Zane Gonzalez battle. Who's going to win out? I think we all kind of can see the writing on the walls, but if something bad happens, right? And Zane's that man. Well, I'll be getting a Zane Gonzalez jersey. I tell you what, you just got to go. No, I'm just playing. But yeah, I think that's going to be a great camp battle to watch for. I see them probably splitting the first, second, and even potentially the third game, half and half. The kickers getting to go out every other score or something like that. And, doing the same thing with kickoffs and stuff like that. So, that's definitely going to be something I'm going to be very excited about. I'll be giving you guys my full analytics and expectations and everything I've seen, and have been able to, formulate and be able to come to you guys and give you the best thoughts on that situation. Yeah. So stay tuned for that camp battle. I will be giving you guys full details. But yeah, I think that team's going to be really solid. I think we're keeping 4 quarterbacks. I like what everybody was saying. Maybe give Sam and Trey, give Trey the majority of the snaps. Let's see what he's got. Let's give Sam and Brandon Allen, let's give them 2 quarters in each of the games as well. Try to, just pass it around as much as we can because, we got 4 quarterbacks. And obviously, I don't know. This is just speculation, but I don't see Purdy coming in playing 1 snap in preseason. I just really don't see him doing that.
I don't either.
So
it's Trey's chance right now.
It's Trey's chance. So it's your turn right now, your moment to seize the crown. Seize the reins. Last year, the job was given to you, and it really was. What Nate Sudfeld was going to beat him out, and then Mr. Irrelevant. Nobody knew about Mr. He was not even speculated to make the team last year. So with Nate Sudfeld being guaranteed that money, everybody was just like, he's going to make the team. Well, he didn't. So you can't count on it. Sometimes money just doesn't matter. It's about who's the best fit. So let me pass the Tarrerdome, and let's get everybody's final thoughts, and then we'll tell everybody where you can find us at, and we'll get out of here. So Tarrerdome, your final thoughts on the kicker situation and the whole topic of the morning.
Well, it's nice that Gonzalez is pushing Jake a bit, but you're a 3rd round pick, and I was hearing things of over 60 yards in terms of field goals. And Bryant, man, he's infectious. He gets on you, and you can't. He metastasizes himself around you. The kickers are probably your lead scorer, so they are that important. And just recently, I heard an article, or I heard reports that Robbie Gould was a little bit put off because the 49ers really didn't come to him. They had a plan to get to Jake Moody, and I thought it was totally opposite. I thought he was out of there, or whatever the case may be. So we're looking forward to that. I'm looking forward. I want to see him boom one, man. If we got gold, pardon the pun. If we got gold in Jake Moody, hey, let's see it. Get down there and get it. Corey brought up just a very valuable point, man. They switched the preseason, so it's not our traditional thinking in terms of, well, that fourth one is going to be for the rookies, and that third one's a dress rehearsal. We got to kind of temper our expectations in terms of what we're going to see and how we're going to see it. So that second preseason game is going to be, I think, pivotal, given you only have 3, but buyer beware and be a little conscious. I think we got that third preseason game. You said it's going to be on the 25th, the day after your birthday, 8/24, Kobe Bryant, 8/24. But we're not going to actually play the first game until September 10th. And for those of y'all out in the chat, I know Callie Young is there. I'll see y'all in Pittsburgh. I'm going to be there live and watching that game. It's a big space in between there, Bryant. You know, it's not like the old school where that last game came and then maybe a week later you were starting the season. You know, a lot of rest can lead to rust. So we got to maintain the competitive edge and we got to ramp up our expectations. I'm just full of expectation on this year's San Francisco 49ers. I think we're the most talented we have been. We got great coaching staff. Players are getting healed up, ready to go. It's going to get competitive at every level on every offense and defense, and including the kicking game. I think, we're all systems are go. We're ready to go. We're clear for launch, as they say down in NASA. And I will yield the floor to my buddies.
Steve-O, final thoughts.
Yeah, as far as the kickers, I thought we had that solidified when we signed Zane. I know he's coming off a couple of serious injuries. And then we use the pick on him. You know, we need a kicker because our division, even though it might suck, they still play within a one-score game all the time. Doesn't matter if they're really good or really bad. I don't know if it's the Niners or what it is, but that's just how it is. So I want to see, some long field goals. Hopefully we won't need that many, but it'd be nice to have it in the back pocket if we do. And then as far as Nate Sudfeld, what was he guaranteed? A couple $3 million, I think it was.
Yeah, it was like $2 million, I think. Yeah.
And then we cut him. That turned to be the second best move we did last year, other than signing CMC. So everybody's like, he's live. You know what? That turned out to be one of the best moves we did last year.
100% agree. David, what do you got? What do you think? What's your final thoughts on the preseason camp battle? Quarterback, Zane Gonzalez, Jake Moody. Are we going 3-0 in preseason? What do you got?
Well, when it comes to camp battles, my biggest thing I'm interested in is the offensive line. Because, the whole unknowns, like, will Jason Poe or Nick Zakel or even Feliciano beat out Brindle for the center position? Well, is Zakel actually the guy that's going to be starting at right tackle? And we just don't know. Because he did play that, he did play that position in college. And he's, athletic. He's actually built to be a tackle. So, that this is all yet to be seen stuff, And Zane Gonzalez and Jake Moody, Zane Gonzalez he has zero advantage right now. Because Jake Moody is a 3rd-round draft pick, and we're going to have him on the cheap for 4 years. Zane Gonzalez, being an NFL veteran, he's going to actually cost more money. And, we're at the point where we got to watch our spending because we're, signing people to huge contracts and whatnot. So, honestly, I don't see Zane Gonzalez beating out Jake Moody unless Jake Moody just, misses everything and, pulls a total choke job. I don't see this happening. If they're close to the same level of play, Jake Moody's making the team and Zane Gonzalez is not.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. And we don't lose anything if we don't sign him. We get our pick back, I think, if someone else signs him. So it's like a win-win situation. And if we do sign him, we don't have to pay for him. I think his contract is paid by Carolina, if I'm correct. So it's we're not really. I think we'd be wasting the 3rd round pick if we don't use Jake Moody. And that kind of goes to my point, or at least some of my research that I've done with the kickers is we either like you and you're a kicker for our team for like 10 years, or you turn out to be somebody like Doug Bryant. 1 year.
I think you mean Crawford.
Gary Anderson, Jose Cortez, Jeff Chandler. 1 year guys. 1 year guys. Kickers that we just were like, all right, you're here for the season, and don't let the door kick you on the way out or hit you, right? But we're going to say kick you. So,
Yeah.
shout out to my daughters. If you hear them, they're getting a little excited. It's probably a good cue to get off. But Mr. Corey Davis, your final thoughts, on the battles. Are we going 3-0 in preseason? What do you got? What's your thoughts? How do you feel?
The kickers, I would like to see, but I think it's Jay Moody. I can't see that Jay Moody's missing, like David McKnight says, missing all his kicks and not hitting them. That's the only way I can see we keep it Zay Gonzalez, because we didn't go pick him at 99 and then cut him. Jay Moody's the guy. Zay should see the writing on the wall already. And say, can y'all please let me go now? I know y'all gonna keep Jay Moody. Let me go, please. Let me go find a team that needs me. Y'all don't need me.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't keep practice squad kickers.
Nope.
All right. Well, I love it. I love it. So, Corey, you have a show tonight. It's about 7:00, right?
Yep.
And somebody went 15-0, or did multiple people go 15-0?
Multiple people.
Oh boy! Everybody, tune in to Corey Davis, Lockdown Corey Davis. You've got a great show, and hope to see you guys a little bit later there. Do you have anything else you'd like to say about your show, or anything coming up that you'd like to promote?
Pretty much you said it all. We
Perfect.
have 15-0. I think like 3 people went 15-0.
Hey, Brian, can I ask a question, everybody, as they say their outro to, if they could think that, I don't know the event that your aunt went to, but do you think Boza not being there had anything to do with his contract? If everybody can include that on their outro.
Corey, start with you. Did Bosa not make it because of his contract, or did something else happen? Oh, I wish Deanna was popping in right now. I know you're listening, Deanna. So, Corey, go ahead.
I think the team is not letting him come. He probably want to participate and be there, but the team said, we don't have you under contract right now. We need to deal with that first. It's probably a rule.
Well, what I understood was there was a bunch of them that was showing up. Frank Gore was getting his autographs. Armstead, CMC was there. Bosa was supposed to show up, and then there was supposed to be a couple other people that was supposed to just, possibly show up, right? But they didn't announce any other people. But something happened with Bosa, and I think it was a scheduling conflict, maybe a plane delay or something, but he ended up not making it. So what Steve was asking you, do you think it was, just accident with life, or do you think it was something maybe he decided not to do because of his contract?
It could be where this playing situation is going. It could be he had, because I know when we went to Louisiana and stuff, my brother he had to spend the night in Atlanta. He lived in L.A. because they didn't have no pilot.
I used to work in the airline business, man. Sometimes it does happen. I used to be a crew scheduler for an international air cargo company, and there are certain FAA rules that if you're flying domestic, you have to have, I think I can remember, 10 hours between 2 flights, and then you have reserve pilots that you can bring in, but they don't want to go because they were on reserve, and you have to call them at home, and they made plans for a barbecue or something. It gets really nerve-wracking, and that's probably why I left the airline industry. 12 in the domestic, 10 10 in the domestic. You have to have 12 hours in between flights and the flight crew in an international flight, and you have to provide for them a 1 in 7, which is 24 hours off in a 7-day period. They have to have 24, and they become prima donnas, dude. They, they complain about the catering on there. We just have fish. Why don't we have steak? And everything comes up, man. Trust me.
So Tarrerdome, go ahead, give us your thoughts. Again, I think maybe it was life issues, maybe it was his contract, and let us know what's going on with your channel if you have anything upcoming. And please, again, everybody, we are doing a dual stream right now. Tarrerdome's on his channel, I'm on my channel. Please like and subscribe. If you guys see this and you're watching, please go and sub to his channel or come back and sub here. Trying to help some friends out and
Yes,
grow a
sir.
bigger and better community. So Tarrerdome, I know in the future we're trying to work a show again with possibly Twin Empire and you, and maybe working on maybe bringing in a cool panel to ask you guys questions at the end again. But currently, without getting too personal, I know Twin is right now taking some time with the family,
Yeah.
and there's going to be a time and a place for that event to happen. But what else do you have coming on with your channel? I know yesterday you were on with Dion. So if anybody doesn't know about Dion, he was here earlier. Niner Gang podcast. Please check him out as well. Great guy, really passionate about the team as well. So Tarrerdome, the floor is yours.
Well, first and foremost, guys, let me shout out the great Steve-O, the great Bryant, the great Locked On 49ers Talk, and I dropped Corey. I dropped it in the chat to have your trivia ready to come to your program tonight. I will definitely try to be there. I got to help my daughter move into her new house or whatever they're doing, man. They move at 1,000 miles a minute. Next week, it's really gonna ramp up, guys. This is the last Sunday we have right now that there's no football going on. From this point forward until February, we're gonna be talking about something. Everything's gonna be reported because we're the San Francisco 49ers. That being said, trying to put together our debate or our discourse, and I love Twin Empire. He's just such a level-headed cat, man. He will listen to my side, and everybody knows I rolls with Brock Purdy. I love Brock Purdy. That's the best we've had thus far, but I totally understand and respect the contingent that loves Trey Lance, and you want to like Trey Lance. You want to give him a shot. And he's made strides, he's made improvements and everything. And we are just going to come together and field all the questions from a positive standpoint. We had a special young man do some very special young things in special things in Trey, and in Brock. And then we have a great young man who's grinding and trying to make it happen. And we threw some real expectations on him being the first round pick. We moved all the way up to get him, and I hear everyone's argument and sustainment, and I am clearly objective as a San Francisco 49er fan. We need to put away the discourse and the vitriol, because Frankie Beverly has a wonderful song called "We Are One." We lead in content creation. If you type up in Google right now, who's the number one team in content creation in all of football, I dare venture to say, I did this months ago, it's the San Francisco 49ers, probably because we're leading in innovation, but we're just such a great organization. We're just so good with our people and getting all of the information together and getting it out to our fans. And we are ravenous. As I was talking to Spencer Burford the other night on East Coast Red and Gold, he was like, you know, man, I played in Texas, and Friday Night Lights, they shut the whole town down for a different high school. He said, but man, the San Francisco 49er fan, y'all are everywhere. And this is a guy from Texas, right in the middle of, you know, Friday Night Lights. And my mother, who is an ardent Cowboy fan, she says the TV sound different when them San Francisco 49ers are playing football. Y'all be everywhere. Y'all go and take over. This is what we do. We're starving since 1995. We won our chip, and we're just trying to get it. I really think that Kyle has absorbed it. I think that John has absorbed that, and they want the best for this team. I think everybody is moving towards this goal, and we just got to walk it out. We got a little tripped up last year by some circumstances that happened. I don't know why they have. I'm a man of God. I pray to God daily, and I was asking, why would you do that? We were ready. It was this. For whatever reason, man, we got to circle around and just continue to be there as one. Put down the discord, put down all this, just look at it objectively and look at it in terms of what is best for the team. The great Jim Harbaugh said it's three things that are reticent and near and dear to my heart. And he said, number one, the team. Number two, the team. Number three, the team. We got to be thinking about what's best for the team. That's all. It's not a racist comment. It's not a who black, who white, who Chinese, Puerto Rican, Asian, Hispanic, Mediterranean, or anything else. We're about the team, and we will do this, and we will do it well, because that SF stands for San Francisco, so fine, and the father and son to me. This is just my magnetism of optimism. This is how I do it. Let's just have a wonderful, great season. We're about to enter into it, and I'm excited, and I hope everybody else is excited.
Wonderfully said. Really, really nice. Steve-O, I'm going to give it to you. You don't have to top it, but we definitely want to hear from you before we go. So I'm going to put you up.
Yeah. As far as Boza missing the event, I don't think he's that type of player, but it does come up, just like it came up. Why didn't Trey show up at tight end U? Then they didn't pick him up. Just trying to make some connections. I did have a friend that went to Vegas last week, and he said it was 115, and the flights were delayed because the tarmac was so hot they had to put water and fans on it for a while. So who knows? Maybe that's been an issue. But and as far as like this Debo conversation that was brought up last week or whatever, like, that's like 6 months ago. That's like there's a song Reborn said, keep moving forward. It says it like for 5 minutes. Like they say, keep your eye on the goal. Well, if you're looking behind you, you're not going to see your goal. You need to keep moving forward. So I'm glad that I didn't have any problem with what he said. We need to move on as a team. What happened last year happened, and you know what I mean. We need to get that 6 and pay attention to that. And yesterday I made a joke, Tarrerdome, that I could blame Kyle for your water heater going out, but at the end of the day, blame does nothing for nobody. Well, I might rethink it after 3 of us on the panel had a little water heater issue. And there might be some validity to that with Kyle.
That's a good point. Sometimes things just happen, and sometimes you step in a puddle. Well, you have to step into another puddle to step out. So sometimes it just happens. I have a special guest, so we're gonna put everybody on pause. I'm gonna give the floor to her, and we're gonna have her speak as long as she likes. And you guys stick around as long as you want, or if you have to go. But this is the lady. She is the Miss Deanna Bring, and I'm bringing her on in. Hello, Deanna.
Hello, how you guys doing? I'm glad to be able to make it on here for a few minutes. I noticed you guys were talking about Bosa missing the GTSM. He came up. He ended up sick, and he didn't make his flight. There were a few other people that didn't make it as well. Did it have to do with contract or anything else? No, I don't think so, because Bosa's kind of a little bit notorious. for saying he's going to go to signings and then not making it. He just doesn't make it for whatever reason. If it's the West Coast, he makes it to most of the New Jersey ones. So if you guys ever want to fly out with me, hey, let's make it a group thing. But and see Bosa. But the West Coast, he doesn't do a lot of the West Coast.
So, if you don't mind, would you like to tell everybody where you went yesterday, a little bit about the event, and what other Niners were there?
Okay. Well, I went to the GTSM yesterday. We had. I'll concentrate on the two that I spent time with that I saw. Obviously, CMC was there. Took pictures with him. I got a lot of memorabilia signed by him. And then Gary Plummer was there, which, my son Alex, he was all about CMC, which I like him, but Gary Plummer, I was all about Gary Plummer. Really cool story is that I walked up to Gary and, I was telling him, I was like, hey, man, every time I think of you, I think of that Bills game. He knew exactly what game I was talking about. And the first thing he said, he goes, you know what? I got a story about that. He said, I was out there through that whole series. And he goes, usually they just have me there on 3rd and 4th down. But we were in no huddle. So I had to keep going out there. And he goes, he just said, I was tired. I wasn't playing as well as I normally do. He said, so on that play, he said, I'm just going to go out there and kill someone. And he went out there and smashed. I'll never forget, he caused a fumble and ran it all the way back for a touchdown. He knew exactly what I was talking about. I got a football signed by him. Well, I got a whole bunch of stuff signed by him. But, I'm, obviously headed out for day 2. Score's going to be there. I'm just going out. I'm just having fun. I don't know if you guys had heard, but I believe Eric Armstead, he's going to have a private signing. So I'll send you guys information on that. Bob Purdy, he only did so far. He's only done one signing. It's been a private signing. I've got my full-size helmet signed. So if you guys ever want to know about signing stuff like that, I do all that sort of stuff. Just you can I'll send a message to Bryant and he can relay it to all you guys. But I've got to run. I just want to say hello to everybody. You guys have a great day, and I'm out.
Hey, thank you so much. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. You have a great trip, and let us know a little bit later. And look forward to barbecuing with you when we play those Raiders. So we'll be talking soon. Everybody, this is Deanna, my wife's aunt, and she is 100% a true faithful. She is
beautiful, beautiful soul. I can tell already. Yes, she's got it. Beautiful lady. Thank you so much, Deanna. Thank you. That's what I need.
We'll talk to you soon, okay? You too. Bye.
See, this is why I can't be a content creator. I try and bring something up, and Brian just shoots it right down right away. I mean,
Brian is the Jimmy Iovine of content creators. He's my guy.
She's wonderful. I've known her for a long time. Very, very great lady. She's actually donated 2 things to the channel. I will be doing a jersey giveaway, and it's all because of her. We have a practice jersey, and we have a official game jersey that will be given away. I'd like to get a little bit more subs before we do that. And Brandon, if you're listening, he was the guy who won the cup raffle we did a couple weeks ago, and I got it mailed out to you, so it should be coming in the next 3 days. So, again, everybody, thanks for coming. I try to keep up with my word. If I say I'm going to do something, it might take me just a little longer, but I get it done. David, let's hear from you. And what do you got going on? I know we're going to probably see each other later tonight. And if you got anything else going on for your channel, you want to let us know?
Well, I'm still messing with StreamYard, and I will be releasing a video once I'm comfortable with everything and got it, and I think I got it figured out. So hopefully that happens today. I mean, I was literally just outside working on my apartment while the stream was going, so don't mind my camera being off, folks. But yeah, that's what I got going on. I'll be on Corey Davis tonight. Tomorrow night, is it the inaugural Niners Coast to Coast stream
I believe so. So
on 49ers First Takes? So
I
we
believe
got that. We got my man Bryant, we got my man Aaron, and we got my man Ty Austin coming on.
Oh man.
So this ought to be a really good show.
Big.
And we're actually going to be doing like everybody goes live right after the game to do it to do a post game, and it's kind of like, I honestly don't like going live right after the game because there's a lot of emotions involved and everything hasn't had time to soak in.
Yeah.
So I kind of like the day after factor, to be honest with you. I really like that.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we got the Culpa McNiners show. We're still trying to figure out when we're going to do that. I think we're leaning towards Wednesday after East Coast Red and Gold, which
Yes.
I'm down with. I'm totally down with that. And then, Thursday night trivia on Corey Davis with my man right there, lockdown Corey Davis. So, and tonight we have our trivia results show, and I heard that some folks went 15-0.
That's pretty big.
Yeah, it's
So
a lot of
this book, if you compare it to the last book was like level 9.5 in difficulty. This book's like level 2, maybe.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Me and David are going to continue to try to do our interview shows. We're trying to work it out where we'll move to maybe a Wednesday. And again, after East Coast Red and Gold, because we got a lot of great shows. We don't want to run over shows. We want to be able to be there to enjoy the shows too, because me and David are like a lot of you guys. We watch shows and then, we've gotten to a point where, hey, we're so excited. We want to talk. So now we're going to do a show. We're going to talk a little bit with each other, hopefully start a new conversation, maybe get a different perspective. But again, we don't want to run over anybody's shows. So Monday will be the first coast to coast, 49ers coast to coast. We got two guys on the East Coast. We got David in the middle of the country, and I'll be on the West Coast trying to hold it down. And we're going to be going between sometime around 5:15, 5:30. Give me a couple minutes to get home, and you just keep your guys' notifications out for that, because that's going to be starting here soon. I think we're going to do a rotation of the channels like how they did before. Again, we're not the NWO. We're a different channel. We have our own point of views, own perspectives, but it's the same concept, four guys coming together and talking. But it's really only Aaron from that channel. So we're going to try to keep it positive, respectful, just like everything else we do. We're fans that come together. We might not always agree, but this four guys that are friends that's known each other for a decent amount of time. And I think Ty and David's done a lot of work together on other channels. And I've been around Aaron for a couple years now. I kind of really like his personality, and I think we can gel. So it's going to be something fun. And you guys tune in. Again, it should be tomorrow. I think that's the first channel episode, and we'll just keep going from there. And then Tarrerdome, we're going to keep bringing Tarrerdome around every time we can. Again, we're streaming on Tarredome's channel and my channel today. So we're trying to get Tarrerdome a little bit more into the game. David will be doing this with you as well. And with that, guys, hope to see you guys again. This is always fun. It's Sunday. Go enjoy the rest of your day. I'm out of coffee. I think everybody else is too. So with that, appreciate you. And go Niners.
Go Niners.
Go Niners.
Go Niners and F the Lambs.
Niners, F all other teams.